Hey there, friends. I hope you're doing well.
I'm Laura, aka Weird Barbie. And first off, can I say a huge thank you to everyone who's been tuning in, leaving comments, and just like hanging out with me here every week? Because you guys make this little corner of the internet feel like a real community, and I appreciate you more than you know. If you're new here, welcome. I make cozy, in-depth videos about MMORPGs, from long-form deep dives to reviews and casual chats about the weird, wonderful worlds we all lose ourselves in. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, consider hitting like or subscribing. It really helps me keep making stuff like this. Today, I want to talk about a subject that some of the MMO community might find triggering, so viewer discretion is advised.
With that warning out of the way, grab a tea, your favorite hoodie, and let's dive in.
You know that hopeful buzz you feel when you start a new MMO? You spent 40 minutes in character creation, the music swells, you hit enter world, and 2 hours later, you're quietly uninstalling it. Yeah, same. Because that's usually me. I give every MMO I try just 2 hours to convince me it's worth my time before deciding if I'm going to play more. Now, I know that sounds short. MMOs are built for hundreds or thousands of hours of playtime after all, but here's the thing. First impressions aren't about quantity, they're about objective truth. You don't need to eat every dish on a restaurant's menu to know if it's good. You don't have to listen to every track on an album to know if the artist's sound resonates with you. And you don't need 1,000 hours in an MMO to sense if it respects your time, rewards your curiosity, and supports your enjoyment. So today I want to talk about why those 2 hours are enough, what I'm really judging during that window, and how learning to listen to those early signals about quality your brain gives you can save you hundreds of hours of frustration later. Let's start with the restaurant rule. If you walk into a new restaurant and the floor is sticky, food is cold, the service staff is slow, and the atmosphere just feels off, you don't have to stay for dessert to know it's probably not your spot. Furthermore, you are absolutely entitled to go and tell your friends and family about your bad experience, even if you only went there once. Your opinion, however briefly it was formed, is still valid. Those first details, the way you're greeted, the taste of the first bite, even the lighting, can tell you what kind of experience you're in for at that restaurant. Games are no different. The opening moments of an MMO reveal how much care and thought went into its design. Those first quests, the movement, the interface, the audio, they're the first dish. And in 2 hours, I can tell if the kitchen knows what it's doing. Before I even judge storytelling or gameplay, I start with something brutally simple. Does the game even work? It sounds obvious, but you'd be amazed how many MMOs trip right here. If the client crashes, if it can't easily create an account, if my character rubber bands across the map, if the frame rate dips like a roller coaster every time someone casts a fireball, that's a red flag. A game that can't hold itself together in its first 2 hours isn't ready for a long-term relationship with me. So here's what I look for. First, stability and performance. Does it run smoothly? Is it optimized? Are there memory leaks that lead to crashes every 5 minutes? I'm looking at you, Runes of Magic. Does it respect my hardware or melt it for no reason? Number 2, graphics and settings control. Like, can I actually adjust things like shadows, resolution, anti-aliasing? Can I choose whether I want to play full screen or windowed? Can I turn off motion blur, screen shake, and mouse smoothing? Arguably the 3 most annoying graphical choices a game can include, and I don't know why they added to games. Can I expand my field of view or adjust chromatic aberration settings? These little things matter. They show whether the developers cared about accessibility and customization. Number 3, physics and world consistency. Do objects react believably? Can I bump into barrels, break boxes, splash through water, or cast shadows realistically? Small physical details make a world feel alive, and when they're missing, the game feels hollow, like stage props instead of a real world. Number 4, keybinds and controls. Can I remap my controls easily, or am I stuck with E to jump and Alt to dodge? Good games let you play your way. Bad ones force you to adapt to awkward defaults because the game devs think that they know better than you how to enjoy their game. Number 5, UI and graphical consistency. Is the UI clear, readable, and consistent with the game's art style, or does it look like 3 different designers fought over the theme and color palette? UI cohesion is part of immersion. Your menus and HUD are part of the world. Number 6, sound and audio design, and this one is huge. Good MMOs understand sound is half the world. The rustle of grass, the click of footsteps, the creak of armor, the whoosh of a swinging sword, and the thud of hitting an enemy. All of that is what sells the fantasy, even more so than the world's visual design elements in most cases. When a game gets that right, you feel the space you're in. When it doesn't, everything feels flat and disconnected. Basically, before I ever think about content, I'm checking for signs of craftsmanship. These are the invisible handshakes between player and developer. Little cues that say, "We took care of this world before inviting you into it. Please stay and enjoy your time here." Once the basics check out, I move into the deeper questions. Now remember, I'm not trying to reach endgame when I do these evaluations. I'm reading the values behind the systems the game chooses to present to me right off the bat. Number 1 is quality and care. Are the systems thoughtfully designed or just stitched together poor ideas? A game that feels coherent early on usually stays that way. Number 2, respect for my time. Does it reward me for showing up or waste my time with filler and paywalls? Games that value you show it immediately. Meaningful progress, clear goals, and rewards that make sense. And yes, research backs this up. UX studies show that players form lasting perceptions within minutes. First impressions determine whether they want to learn more or just bail entirely. Number 3, teaching and onboarding. Is the tutorial a crash course in fun or a PowerPoint presentation in disguise? A good MMO trusts you to learn by doing, not by drowning you in tooltips and pop-up tutorial boxes. Lord of the Rings Online. Number 4, the core loop. Every MMO has a heartbeat. Combat, crafting, exploration, social play. By 2 hours in, I can tell if that loop feels rewarding or not. If the basic act of playing isn't satisfying earlier, chances are it's not going to get better later. Number 5, developer values and monetization. Finally, I pay attention to the first hints of how the devs see me, as a player or a walking wallet. If I'm getting push notifications and flash ups on my UI for premium currency shops before I even find my first quest hub, that's my answer. Now let's talk about the album rule. When you discover a new band, you don't have to listen to every single song to know if you like their music. Usually, by the 3rd song, you've already decided. That's because the tone, the emotion, and the craftsmanship are baked into every song. The same goes for MMOs. The opening hours are the studio's sound. If the voice acting is flat and awkward, the environment's lifeless, and the quest's uninspired, that's not an accident. That's the creative DNA on display, and no amount of endgame content is going to rewrite that. A great MMO introduces its tone early. The art direction, music, pacing, they all whisper what kind of world you're stepping into and the quality of that world. You just have to listen. There's actual psychology behind this. Humans form judgments fast, not because we're shallow, but because it's efficient. In gaming, studies on flow by psychologist Mihaly, I'm not trying to pronounce that last name, show that players need to reach that sweet spot of competence and challenge early, or they'll never feel immersed. That's why retention rates plummet after the first session for most MMOs. Most fail to create flow or reward players with structured gameplay loops. Developers know this. The first play session is often do or die. So when someone says, you can't judge an MMO in 2 hours, the truth is, the MMO's already judged itself. You're just noticing the evidence. Now, sure, there are some exceptions. Some MMOs are slow burns. EVE Online, Star Wars The Old Republic, Final Fantasy XIV, and even old school RuneScape to a degree. Those games take time to reveal their full depth and their quality. But even then, you should still feel the potential early. A spark of curiosity, a hint of depth waiting underneath. If that spark isn't there, it's not a slow burn, it's just a slow start to nowhere. And something I want to make clear. The reason I stick to this 2-hour rule isn't out of cynicism, it's out of self-preservation. MMOs today are designed to be jobs. They demand attention to calendars, daily check-ins, and rely on sunk cost fallacy and social guilt to keep you coming back. The 2-hour test helps me separate the games that deserve my time from the ones that just want to consume it. If I stay, it's because the game has earned it. So, again, the next time someone says, you can't judge an MMO in 2 hours, remember, you don't have to eat every dish on the menu to know if a restaurant's good and if you recommend eating there or not. You don't have to listen to every song to know if an album speaks to you. And you don't have to grind 100 hours to know if an MMO respects your time. 2 hours isn't the whole story, but it's enough to read the tone of the book. And that's enough. So trust your judgmental instincts, because sometimes walking away early just means walking towards something that deserves your time even more. Thanks for hanging out, friends. Drop a like, subscribe for more MMO content just like this, and let me know your opinions on how long you need to play a game to judge its quality in the comments. That's all from me today, and until next time, stay weird, stay cozy, and keep leveling.